Hello everyone, this is FTV ZvZ here to bring you another pro level cast from the RSL between Quantic Hyun as the blue Zerg in the top left versus Symbol as the red Zerg in the bottom right. The map, of course, Bel'shir Vestige. And again, if you're wondering about this, that's because I have taken to loading up replays directly from the folder they are in, as opposed to going through StarCraft. I find it's just a little bit more peaceful that way. I get a little bit more done, yada yada. Either way, this is actually the second time I'm going to attempt to cast this. I only got to like minute 4 of the other cast, but I had so much mouse problems that I decided, you know what, I'm just going to restart, and we'll go from there, and we'll see what happens. Now, because of that, I can tell you that Hyun is just slightly ahead of his opponent. You can see it there, the drones right there, coming out 3 instead of 2. This difference, I never actually got to see what he did with it, if he did anything at all, but we're basically going to be watching Hyun take a very minuscule lead over Symbol at the beginning of this game. Of course, in mirror matchups, that is very, very important, just because, yeah, it's, basically, if you're both doing the same thing, the person who's slightly faster is at a slight advantage. They'll have the upgrades faster, and that difference manifests itself basically, yeah, and there we are. We're seeing the faster expansion from Hyun. This is going to be actually quite a bit ahead. I think he's widening his lead over Symbol. That's not really quite, I mean, the difference, of course, is small to anybody not in these leagues, but again, if somebody has a +1 attack or +1 carapace upgrade before the other and an engagement happens, well, the leads begin to widen quite substantially, because you're not just behind a bit, now you're losing workers or units that you needn't have lost. And there we go, Pool's already coming down. Again, it's ahead. I think he had a lead of only really a few seconds. He's now widened it to nearly 10 seconds over Symbol. I'm just sort of, honestly, I'm very happy that I was able to catch on to this. A lot of times the small details can be easily missed with the high pace of most of these games, and the fact that I'm an amateur caster. And, of course, the fact that I'm a Protoss player, which, makes a huge difference. But now we're going to be able to see what goes on. Again, Symbol just a little bit lagging behind here. Gonna see, though, what Hyun does with all these minerals. Yep, there we go. There's the Queen coming out for him. Double Queen, and we get a Queen for Symbol, and double Queen as well. Hyun should be noticing that his opponent is, well, maybe he's noticing, maybe he's not. It'd be hard to tell if your opponent's a little bit ahead. I don't think the spawning pool does anything when it's researching. But actually, that's an interesting thing there, is that despite the fact that Hyun is just ever so slightly ahead in speed, he does have a slower metabolic boost. Quite an interesting thing to note there. Maybe Symbol's going to get that advantage back. Maybe not. We will be seeing what goes on. Baneling Nest coming down for Symbol. I do think that he's going to be pretty aggressive now, as it looks like Hyun is going to be taking out that Overlord. I guess I was wrong. There's his Baneling Nest as well. Speed and the Baneling Nest way ahead for Symbol, way before what Hyun did. I wonder what is going on. Hyun's lead did seem fairly, quite a bit there. He still has the supply lead by just a bit, which will make a difference in these early confrontations. The question, though, is, that Overlord getting just out in time. Too bad for that Queen. So sad, not able to catch it. Overlords, of course, are they actually slower than Queens? My god, they are. Whoa, it's just sad. How can the flying thing be so slow? I do not know. Either way, we are going to have the Spine Crawler at the front, down for both players. Their placement, of course, is very interesting. Going to have to think about that at some time. And the Banelings, of course, on the way. Not much accomplished there by Symbol. And we do have a couple of Lings out, couple of Banes out. Everything seems to be going just about the same. This is quite interesting, actually, as they appear to be just mirroring each other almost exactly. There's just slight differences here. We're going to see how this plays out in the late game. Whew. Also, I noticed that Symbol doesn't have the mutant Lings, just has regular Zerglings. As opposed to the, well, no, there's a train to Banelings. Oh, but they're spotted. Not the best place to be for Banelings. I'm going to be losing those. Of course, he does get some bit of a refund there. However, where are the Lings? I'm trying to show you the Lings. They just are hiding. All of a sudden, Symbol has a supply lead here. This is going to be a little bit of an issue. There are quite a bit of Lings here, and definitely enough to take out a queen or two. Maybe harass the workers a bit. Not going to see that there is no third, and we do have a Spire coming down for Symbol and an Infestation Pit down for Hyun. Finally, we are going to be seeing a difference in these two players. Can't wait to figure out what goes on here. Yeah, and there we go. There's the third base as he scouts. There is no aggression necessarily coming in. I wonder what we'll be seeing. I don't know. We are seeing roaches out already. That's going to be an interesting choice. And, of course, that's going to be scouted out there, and he is going to be sending Lings, maybe going to try and attack that. I do feel like he has a slight advantage in the numbers here. Lings, of course, can take out roaches when they have an advantage like this one. Those Banelings, of course, going to make that a lot more difficult to do. And of course the Lings from Hyun, of course, always make this issue. Oh, there we go. Banelings going to detonate against each other. Don't know if that was worth that. Those roaches are not going to be able to handle that, I do not think. Yep, they are not. All of a sudden, that queen is in danger if those Lings decide to move in. Yep, there we go. That queen will be dead fairly shortly. Some of the Lings, of course, can't even find a spot, and all of a sudden, that hatchery is quite a bit in danger. We have a lot more roaches on the way, but Mutalisk is going to be coming out. Now, the problem is that Hyun does not have Hydralisks or even Spore Crawlers down anywhere, or where are his queens even? There goes one of his queens down, the other queen in the main base. And long story short, he really has no anti-air, and that is going to hurt him a lot. There comes the Spore coming down, but is it in time? I think he just scouted those Mutalisks coming across the map. Basically, it's a race between Mutalisks and the Spore Crawler. Now, the Mutalisk's not even going to care, probably going to assume that that Spore Crawler was already up, going for all these Overlords around the map. And, of course, the third base is already down for Symbol, and Hyun is now supply blocked. His lead is gone and shattered. Symbol taking the lead right back. Just having, I feel, the better play in this case. Of course, we do have Infestors now on the field. This will be quite an interesting choice. We're going to see if he can make these work, because he needs to. Definitely needs to secure that third base, which he lost again. Mule is trying to move in. Don't know if they're going to find anything here that they can pick off. Maybe they could have picked that Roach Warren off. Oh, they're definitely getting a couple of workers. Very surprised by that, honestly. That was not good coverage by those Spore Crawlers. Did not prevent those Mutalisks from coming in at all. That's the problem when you're dealing with players at this level. They are just able to exploit any chink in the armor that they find, and they're certainly going to find one here. All of a sudden, these Mutalisks giving Symbol the license to expand all over the map. Not really going to be an issue for him, because there's no way Hyun can push out. Not when he's 50 supply behind and unable to even take a third base. Not going to be able to hold this off there. Yep, there's the cancel, and the worker dies as well. Just immediately, this is like number 3 or 4 attempt trying to put that down. He won't be able to. He definitely needs to either move his Infestors down or spread creep or something. The problem is we have a lot of roaches moving across the field. All of a sudden, Ling's coming back in to deny that. They'll be able to work that down, really no problem. He needs to stop it, but is he going to lose it? No, just barely keeps it alive, but all of a sudden the Roach is in there for Symbol, and here comes the push. Roach Buta, don't often hear about that, but Now, can he hold this off? I honestly feel that he might be able to if he can just get... There we go. We're seeing, oh my goodness, a lot of infested Terrans. The question is whether or not he can do it. I feel like he lost a lot of infestors there. And the units lost. Where are you? Hyun getting the worst end of the deal here, but he does manage to survive the push. At what cost, of course, is the question, because he's lost a lot of workers in that end. The GG from Hyun, realizing that he cannot withstand the much superior economy of Symbol. Whew, what a game. Gotta love it. Always interesting, ZvZ. We're going to move on to Game 3 right away. Hope everyone's enjoyed. This is FDV Bel'shir signing off.